Hey there, it's David here and welcome to the Shed Insider. But this week I'm going to do something a little bit like last week's video, but instead of using Queensland Globe, we're actually going to be using the open data map from Urban Utilities. Now, Urban Utilities is the water supplier, the fresh water supplier for a lot of Western Brisbane. It doesn't include as far as Toowoomba, but it does include Brisbane and Ipswich areas, as well as the north side of Brisbane, I understand. And they have this open data map tool, which is really good for finding things like sewer and other services that are coming into your home. Now, in a lot of cases, most people will just say, oh, why can't I use Dial Before You Dig? Well, you can, and Dial Before You Dig is a very powerful tool, and it will actually enable you to find a lot more services than this Urban Utilities open data map. Things like the NBN, gas, power, telephones, all of those sort of things. But if you're specifically looking for the things like sewer lines or mains water, and if you really want to know exactly where they are in your block, Dial Before You Dig doesn't tell you that. It'll basically tell you there's a sewer line running there, but that's about all you'll find. It'll give you an approximate location, but you really can't rely on it to measure. So that's why this Urban Utilities and other similar open data maps are really handy, because they will actually give you the exact location of the utility that's running through your site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, so you'll see that up there, because I'll be down here in the bottom corner, and we'll get started, and I'll show you how it all works and how it can be used to basically figure out if you can put a shed, or where you can put a shed on your site, and maybe where you can't put a shed on your site. So I'm just going to cut while I fire up the screen recorder, and I'll be back with you in a second. So here we are, we're back with the Urban Utilities Open Data Map, and please excuse me if I look at the screen, which is over here for me, not over here where the camera is, so I'm not going to be looking directly at you, but I am going to be down in the bottom corner, so it probably won't make a lot of difference, you won't be able to see my eyes anyway. So over to the screen. So over on this screen, we've got a property here which has a couple of big black and red lines that run through the middle of the property. Now that's going to be a little bit problematic for the person who perhaps wants to build a shed maybe in this back corner here. This site I know has more problems than just a sewer running through it, because it actually has an overland flow path, which is a council thing that says the flow water is going to go over their property, as well as a water main that runs pretty much down the back here as well. So I've found those on the council site, but I know that Urban Utilities also have the sewer lines, and they also run the mains water that comes into the property. So basically you've got the link to the site up there, and basically I've just typed in a street address to find a particular property that I know has some pipes running through it. Now, a couple of things you can see, as I've said. You can see that there's a sewer pipe running through it. You can zoom in. That's going to be a manhole. It actually says so, sewer manhole. It says that this is a sewer gravity main trunk. So it is an asbestos cement pipe. It's 150 millimetres in diameter, and it's owned by Urban Utilities. So that's pretty much what you need to know. Now, the other thing that you can do with this site is, if you come up here to the top right hand corner, you'll see this little box of squares. Looks like 4 blocks docked on top of each other. That will actually allow you to view the satellite image for that property. So there is the house, or houses, for this particular property, or for this particular street, and there is our sewer line running right through the middle of the property. So that's fantastic, you might say, but how do I figure out how far away the said pipe is from boundaries so I can figure out where I'm going to put my shed? Okay, I'm glad you asked me that question, because here is the answer. Next to that little set of blocks is a ruler. It says measurement. And under there you'll get a thing that says measurement. On the left is area, and on the right is the distance. So you click distance, it's set to meters. If you're international and you want other things, miles, kilometers, feet in the US, what the difference is, I don't know. Yards or nautical miles, you can also use that, but we're going to stick with meters for the time being. So we click on that. Now, let's find out where this thing is intersecting the back corner of this person's property. So we click on the sill main, measure, click, and then we draw a line back to the boundary, and we know for a fact there it is 11.6 metres from the northeast corner of this property to the area where it meets the sewer line. Now we can clear that. We can also see that it is 2.08 metres from the boundary there, and we've got another one here that is measuring again, clicking from the boundary up to the pipe, 17 metres from the boundary at the back. So if we were going to put a shed in our backyard, that's about 8 from there and about 4 from there. So if you were going to put a shed in this backyard and you wanted to be a 6 metre shed, let's assume you're going to have a 6 metre shed with a 1 metre boundary offset. So we come up from there, we go 6 plus 1 equals 7, and that's it about there. So that's 7 metres out, so that's a metre off the boundary, and we'll just add on to that 13, 14. Look, you're not going to hit the pipe, but you're not going to be able to build there anyway because you need to be at least 2 metres from the centre of the pipe. So you're not going to make it there for a 6 metre wide shed. So, you'll get a 5 metre wide shed there and be able to build, in this area. Although a better area or a better place for the shed might be over in that corner, which will get you, how far away from the boundary again there? 6.7, 6.8. So we could get a siding variation, we could be 8 metres off the 800 mil off the boundary, do a 5.5 metre wide shed there, or even better still, come from off the boundary a bit further, like, I don't know, let's go. Let's say we want to go up here, and let's come 7 metres off the back boundary. Right? So we're 7 metres off the back boundary, 7 plus 6 is 13, so that means we can come out to there for our shed and basically plonk it, 6 by 6 metre shed there. If you were doing a 6 by 6 metre shed in the backyard, you might even be able to put a 3 metre awning off to the side, which will bring you about so. So that would be accepted development under the sewer there. Now, there's a few more things in this block of land that we can't see from this, and that'll be something that I can cover in a later video, but you've got to have 2 metres from the edge of your shed to the edge of the sewer, and just remembering where we are, we're pretty close to that. We're pretty close to 2 metres from the edge. We've got to adjust the size of the shed accordingly, and that space above the pipe needs to be up to space, basically. So if you don't have a clear overhang above the shed and you've got a roof hanging over it, Urban Utilities will have the right to come and demolish your shed and remove it and charge you for it, for the privilege of having a shed over their pipe, because if their pipe breaks, they've got to be able to fix it. So that's the story there. That'll give you a bit of an idea. Now, zooming out, you can see that this area here has got sewer pipes running everywhere. I mean, you have to be pretty unfortunate to be, this block here. I don't know what they've built over that. I can't imagine what they've built over that that's going to be legal. Here we go. Yeah, someone's built a shed right over a sewer line. So I would venture to suggest that that is possibly not a council-approved building, and perhaps this one here might not be a council-approved building either, so that come the day when the council wants to dig these said pipes up, these people may be in for some challenges, shall we say. So just sort of scrolling out there, you can see this will basically show you all the red lines that are the sewer pipes, and all the blue lines are the mains water. And then if you really want to know where the other issues might be with the sites, you go into your local council or iDevelopment, iPlanning, those kind of tools. They will tell you all about those things as well. So there we go. That's a quick overview. Look, there's all sorts of different types of maps that you can have on this. It will basically give you environment maps, imagery, hybrid imagery. I don't use many of them. I basically just use the community map, which is that sucker there, and the imagery to find out where the houses are to basically give me a reference point. Look, houses are not always in exactly the right place compared to where the sewer pipe is, but the certifiers use this to determine where the sewer pipes are, so I know that it is accurate to, 100 mil, 200 mil, something like that. Close enough for the certifier to be able to tell if you've built your shed over a sewer pipe, and that's what really counts for this tool. So there we go. There's a brief little explanation of this Queensland Urban Utilities Open Data Map. Again, every area that you can live in, pretty much, well, at least in Queensland, has one of these. Most of the utilities that are now privatised, which is all of them, have their own open data map, and that information is available to you. It is not a paid service, it is free. So dig in, go and have a look around. You can set up your own account if you want to use it on a long-term basis and have your own presets in there, but great tool, really handy, and shows all sorts of stuff that you might not otherwise know is in your backyard. So there we go. That's another interesting one for today. This is the Shed Insider signing off for today. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you would like to get notifications as to when the next episode is up. And also feel free to comment down below. Thanks a lot. This is the Shed Insider signing off. Have a great day.